Right, so game 2, Ryan versus Cosaur, and we're on Pillars of Gold. Yeah, so in the first game, what did happen? Ryan just played like a pretty normal game of StarCraft. Cosaur, on the other hand, went mad. This time around, Cosaur is playing Zerg. I don't know if that's just for the crack or just to mix it up. We don't have any randoms in the tournament, which would be pretty cool, I guess, if somebody played random. But yeah, I guess it is a noobs tournament. It is easier to just learn one race rather than trying to learn all three. So is Cosaur actually going to build an Overlord? He has. What cheese? He didn't really cheese. Well, by definition, he did cheese, didn't he? It was very all in. But yeah, I don't know if it makes the cut. Was it all in or was it just suicide? Oh, what? This is the Utumno build. So he's just going hatchery in the main. Is it a tribute to Utumno? Is that what we're saying here? Is that why this is happening? I do not know. It's a shame that Utumno didn't cast this himself. He would have loved this. So Ryan, it looks like he's just playing a normal game. He's got a getaway. He's got some gas that he'll transfer workers to shortly, I would imagine. Yeah, this is a good idea, by the way. Just check. Just make sure your opponent isn't up to no good, hiding a thing down here, up to mischief. And maybe Cosaur did play random. Can you? Surely in the replay it comes up if somebody's random rather than I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he played random, maybe not. I can't tell whether or not Ryan knows what race Cosaur is, because a Zerg isn't going to hide some stuff around here because it isn't any good for them. A Terran might, you could build a barracks here. A Protoss might, you could build cannons or whatever. But a Zerg, you can't get a hatchery in the background there, and obviously all other Zerg buildings must be built on creep, so therefore you can't actually just hide a building here. And even if you could, what would be the point? Because Zerg buildings, the only one that actually produces units is the hatchery. All of the others don't produce units. So yeah, this is just weird. I mean, Cosaur, you've built an extra hatchery, and a macro hatch is an okay thing at a certain point in the game because it gives you extra larvae, but you're not actually building anything with the larvae. You've got all this money, but you're not building anything. I don't really know what to say. This is just shocking, isn't it? You've built an Evo chamber. There's no spawning pool. I mean, this is the Terran. This is the equivalent to the Terran engineering bay. So yeah, what I like is that Ryan is taking the time to sort of scout the surrounding areas, looking, if you've had somebody try and plan through Russia or something, you'd have to expect they're going to be up to something. So yeah, I like that. It's a good general StarCraft practice. If you find yourself playing a ladder, it is a good idea to just grab a worker and have it just patrolling this kind of area out the front of your base all the way around here, looking in all the nooks and crannies for places where someone would hide a proxy. Because often people say, like, well, what do you do against a proxy? And the answer is, if you don't know it's coming, you lose. It's basically it. If you do know it's coming, it doesn't, to some extent, it kind of doesn't matter what you do against it, as long as you do something against it, whether that something is a defensive, go ahead and build bunkers so that their proxy just doesn't achieve anything, or whether that something is to build a partially defensive setup at home while you cannon rush their men or whatever it might be, because their focus will be on the proxy. So those types of things. Anyway, but it's all about seeing it coming. Now this zealot, don't get those zealots surrounded, but do attack the workers, because the zealot will trade so well. You can just trade the shields off the zealot for workers by just faffing about. Spawning pool is 2 spawning pools because yeah, okay. Idle workers. What is Cosaur actually doing? Let's have a look. So this is Cosaur's camera view. This is not me moving the screen. This is Cosaur. We have to assume then that Cosaur can see with eyes that all his workers are standing about doing nothing. You'd have to assume that. Let's have a look at the APM. Cosaur apparently does have an APM. I'm not sure how, because there isn't really anything happening here. We're just staring at stuff randomly. We're going to make a lair. Like, what is it that's going on? Why is this APM like so high? Because there's literally nothing happening here. Like, what is he just spamming buttons? What? Just spamming buttons that aren't doing anything? How do you get the EPM up? No, he's doing something. It's just very hard to tell what. And there's the zeros. Very hard to tell. Anyway, finally it's going to build a thing. Yep, that's a queen. Let's just come out, look. Just have a quick look at the queen. Check that it is a queen. It is. There's the queen. There it is. Yeah, that's the spawning pool. Okay. And that's as much of that as I can cope with. Let's have a look over in Protoss land. Yeah, so here are some things. Those are some units, and to be honest, similar to the last game, I'd kind of like Ryan to just click across the map and end this travesty. There's some stuff going on here. There's a pylon. I wouldn't mind seeing him drop the gateway here so that he can get those faster warp ins. At present, he doesn't have that many gets, I don't think. Only a couple of times, so yeah, 3 gets would be ideal. Also wouldn't mind seeing the warp prism come out. So the zealots are going to come up here. You know, zealots trade really well against lings. Is speed done? I think it is. It is. So even with the speed, the zealots are still going to win. And actually the zealots have got charge, so that just, yeah, zealots just win against lings in general. And yeah, this force is going to be enough to just walk in here and absolutely wreck everything. There's just nothing here. You know, 6 minutes 40. And like, yeah, you've got a lair and you've got 2 spawning pools. Yeah, so this is going to be GG, or at the very least G, I suppose. All of the workers are dying, all of the lings are dying, everything's dying. Yeah, so Cosaur, what you need to do is just build normal things. You know, there's a reason that when you're Zerg, you build a spawning pool. There's a reason that a Terran builds a supply depot and then a barracks. It's because anything apart from doing that is not a sensible option. And it simply doesn't work, as we can see. So some lings coming out, it doesn't matter. They're not going to achieve anything. They're just going to die. The Zealots are going to rip through them in. And presumably before very long, we will either see a GG, or in fact Ryan's units will simply kill all of that stuff, and there it is. GG. Yeah, some work to be done, Cosaur. Some work to be done on that build order. Yeah.